Alright, what up guys? Today I am not doing a formal vlog. I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter. It might be long. But basically, I've been wanting to do this for a while. Last time I came in, I did not have my SD card. But one thing that I have been seeing a lot of, whether it's on social media or actually in the gym, is just people struggling with bench form. It happens a lot. And if you look at bench press, it should be the most, in my opinion, it's a lift that should be the most uncomfortable. No part of your body should be comfortable. Your legs shouldn't be relaxed. Like, it should be 100%. You should feel like just bending like a pretzel. Like, you should just feel uncomfortable. Everything should be tight. So I'm gonna make this video just kind of talking about bench press and my powerlifting and power building aspect. That's how I practice it anymore. And my cues, form, breathing, hand placement, foot placement, all that stuff. So just hopefully to be able to help you guys in the future. This does translate to bodybuilding style bench press, although it's not as much. I don't know. I don't look at it as much of a bodybuilding style lift. I don't do it on my bodybuilding days, but it's interchangeable. You can do it either way. So here I have warmed up all the way to 275. I'm gonna go for 335 for a pause single. I did hit 345 last week, but it was touch and go, so not a pause single. I want to work on those pauses, just get ready for possible competition. So I want to make sure I'm practicing what I need to do. But yeah, so I'm going to do this 335, and then I'll let you guys watch all the way through from my cues, my setup, my breathing, and everything. And then I'm actually going to break it down with less weight and let you guys kind of see how I'm doing things whenever I'm not focused on pushing that heavy weight, so you guys can kind of see all the different pieces that I'm putting together. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so this first video we have here is the 335 pause single. So a few of my cues you'll notice before I even sit down, I get my feet set and then just keep my chest really high, get my butt placed on a pad and everything. So I get there and then I take one more big deep breath before laying back. I use the side bars to grab to just get my lats really spread and then push deep into the pad while I push my chest upward and get that thoracic arch. And then I go for my hand placement, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Grip the bar really hard as if I'm trying to bend it before unracking it. Then as I unrack it, I just kind of pause for a minute, make sure I've got full control of the weight, and then bring it down. Pause for a second right at the top of that arch and push up. So this next one here is pretty similar. Big deep breath before I lay back. Get my back set against the pad, get that arch going, make sure I'm fully set up here, and then get my grip. And then you'll notice that this time I actually didn't get my feet turned inward until after laying down. As long as my feet are placed in the right position before, that's okay sometimes. I try to get it fully placed before though. So these ones here are just touch and go, nice and simple. There we have it. Now we'll drop it down. Alright guys, so hopefully with that 335 pause single, you guys can kind of see just kind of my different cues. So before I even sit down, I kind of get my feet set about where I want them. Obviously that changes a little bit. I get a little bit of shift so I can make sure I'm driving with just my heels once I get into the movement. But big breaths a few times before I even get under the bar. And I think one of the most important things is getting into that back arch and getting my lats set against the bench. But getting your lats set is very important. That's where you're going to get a lot of your drive surface. So yeah, hopefully you guys can kind of see my different cues and everything. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to break it down. I'm going to go over specifically my hand placement. I'll give you guys the bar path. Bar path is the thing I think a lot of people struggle with. I got the weight dropped down to 135 because all my working sets are done. So it'll allow me to kind of control the weight a little bit better, just to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. But to start, man, I don't know. I guess we could talk about hand placement to start. So yeah, let's get into it.
So for the hand placement, you don't want to be too narrow, but there's actually a limit in competition on how far out you can go. So you just kind of want to watch out for that. For me, I do like a medium grip, so I don't go too wide out, but you guys can choose this as you want. I usually do middle finger or ring finger on the knurling. And then also here you'll notice my elbow angle. You do not want to be going straight out. That's one of the fastest ways to injure your shoulders. So you want your elbows to be pointed down kind of at a 45-degree angle throughout every rep. Just the bar path, it's kind of dramatic in this. It's not always going to be that far down, but I really wanted to kind of show you guys. So part of this comes from that 45-degree angle. And this is just a way to keep that pressure off your shoulders and just allow you to really control the weight and get the full effect of the rep in the safest manner possible. You'll want to bring it down and just touch that top of the arch every single time before exploding back up while maintaining contact with the bench.
So it's kind of simple, so I'll kind of explain it to you instead of doing a voiceover real quick. But basically the point of this next clip is to show you guys, first of all, the arch. The type of arch is very important. So an arch in bench is okay. I personally don't vibe with the whole like super arch where your range of motion is like 6 inches, but the arch is very important. So you want to have a thoracic arch. So what that means is your arch is coming out of your chest right around where your sternum is at, rather than in your lower back where around in your lumbar area. So first of all, that's going to prevent injury. It's going to lessen your range of motion, and I mean there's a few things to it, but anyways, it also provides that platform for where you want the bar to go. So you're watching that bar path in the last 2 clips or whatever clips it was whenever I put these together. That is where the bar should be touching, so it provides that little platform to help you with your form throughout the movement. So yeah, so I'm going to show you guys just basically where the arch should be. You'll get to see where the bar meets a little bit closer, and also the lining up and spreading of my shoulder blades and my lats onto the pad. You want to have as much of a platform, so to speak, as possible to drive from. So that's why fat pads are better. You have more platform, but bigger lats gives you more platform too, so you have just more space to drive off of, which is also why I use these bands. They just provide a little bit of traction, so when I'm doing my leg drive, I don't slide backwards. That's a problem I've had on a few benches, especially out at Missouri Western. But yeah, let's get into this next clip.
Like I said before, I usually grab the sides of the rack in order kind of just to get my back placed against the pad and help push up into the arch and just get that diaphragm really high into the air but not overly high. I like to have kind of a flat stance and then bring that bar down, touch the top of the arch, explode back up every time. Here we got foot placement. For me, I usually get entirely set before I start before I even lay back, and I just maintain that. So what I like to do is point my toes outward, almost entirely outward, flat ways. This kind of prevents me from driving off my toes and keeps it all in the heels, which is where you get the best drive. So this is how I prefer it. Not everybody's going to do that. Some people do drive out of their toes, and that's fine. This is my preference. This is what works for me here. Also, with that, you're going to want to explode, drive through your hips, through your butt, and through your legs with every single rep that you do on the press motion of the rep.
Okay, so after going through all that, just kind of a few points. The reason I train, how I train, first of all is because I'm looking at getting into a powerlifting competition, but it's also for overall effectiveness on bench press. I don't treat bench press as a bodybuilding workout. I think that your dumbbell bench presses and things like that are much better for developing that muscle. You get to work your stabilizers as well as kind of adjust the form and just make tweaks based on just multiple different factors. But there's a few things, a few cues for me, or not cues, but rather just things to keep in my mind and why I train how I train. And it's that you have to have your head on the bench at all times. So I train like that all the time. Your head cannot come off the bench. Your butt has to be on the bench at all times, so your butt cannot come off the bench. And you also have to, in competition, you have to pause. So one thing that I see a lot of people do, and it's also a way to severely injure yourself on bench press, whether that's in your shoulders, lots of torn labrums, things like that, or even down in your rib cage and stuff, is bouncing. A lot of people want to just drop the weight on their chest. It gets it down fast. You don't have to fight against it. So it's a terrible idea. When I was in high school, I used to argue with my brother about how that was okay. It's not. I did it anyways, but I think the quickest way to learn is to injure yourself and figure out that you were doing it wrong. It's not the easiest way to learn, but it is the fastest. So, I mean, take the advice or don't. It's up to you. But yeah, so you want to control the movement. You don't necessarily have to make it like a 5-second descent. Like, that's not necessary. But you do want to control it as the weight's going down. You want to have total control. So basically, it just kind of depends on what I'm working on any given day. I might do a slower descent than another day. When I'm working pauses, I like to train it how I want it to look in competition. So I don't know when or if I'm competing yet. I would like to this summer, but in competition, I would like to basically have full control over it. You can't hit your chest too hard. I mean, there's a lot of different things that in competition that you can't do a certain way. But anyways, I'm kind of just rambling at this point. But I'm gonna look back over everything and make sure that I've kind of hit all the cues, and then pretty much just close off. That's all this video is just a how to bench video. And yeah, I really hope it helps you guys out. If you want to see like a how to deadlift, how to squat, by all means, let me know. I'm not an expert. I'm still learning stuff about form and lifting every single day, and I probably will be for a long time, but anything that I have learned, I would love to share with you guys. So yeah, just let me know. And yeah, I'm gonna check back in here in 1 second. All right, guys, I don't think I have anything else, so I'll do voiceovers and stuff or whatever. Like I said, hopefully this video helps you guys out a lot. I don't want to see you guys getting injured just because you don't know things, so hopefully you take the advice or just learn on your own, whatever. But my goal is just to be able to help you guys do better, perform better, and stay healthy. So yeah, like I said, any questions, hit me up, comment, DM, doesn't matter. Find me in the gym, whatever works. But that's all for this video. Hope you guys learned something. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's all for this time. I'll catch you guys on the next one.